We've all heard the saying, the 20% rule. And if you haven't, no offense, but have you been living under a rock? Because I feel that in the modern day, this is actually one of the most used phrases by professional haters on the internet. But should and can horses only carry 20% of their body weight? That is what we'll be discussing today. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a month, but I'm back, and I promise I'm gonna be more consistent. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, subscribing and liking the video really do help me, so that would be amazing. So where did this 20% rule come from? It wasn't just a made up number. Someone just said one day, we're gonna make it 20%, and that's that. That's the way or the highway nowadays. So most people actually credit this rule coming from the military. And this is because the cavalry horses not only had to carry their riders long distances, but they also had to carry the military gear, which is very heavy. Back in the 18 to 1900s, all that gear is very heavy. And the main source behind this was a 1920s cavalry manual / guidebook. And this book recommended that the rider did not exceed 20% of the horse's weight. Fast forward to today, modern times, people are still using the 20% rule, and some people are even saying 10 to 15%. But modern research and science does kind of contradict this rule in a sense in instances. And now researchers are saying it's not just based off weight of the rider, and there's a couple different things that go into how much a horse can carry. For this specific segment of the video, we are not going to be talking emotions or what I feel or what you feel is the best percentage of weight for a horse. We're going to be going over some research done by scientists for this exact topic. Now, a 2008 study did show some interesting things, and the study was combined between USEF and the Oklahoma State University, which is pretty cool. Now, this specific study was done on horses of all different weights and breeds, and they track the horse's stiffness, soreness, and stress levels throughout the ride and after. Now, this study specifically showed that riders under 30% of the horse's weight did not cause the horse to perform in a stiff or sore or lame way, and that they were fine performance-wise. But riders that were over 30% of their body weight did start to struggle a little bit. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We're going to be talking about whether breed matters for this weight percentage, or if it should be just a universal rule for every horse. Now, this study was done in 2015 by the Journalists of Equine Veterinary Science, I believe. Let me double check. The Journal of Equine Veterinary Science. Now, this study specifically looked at how different breeds, stockier, thinner breeds, took weight differently. Now, this study found that smaller but stockier breeds could carry more weight, even though they were technically lighter and smaller than these leaner, larger breeds. And the taller and leaner horses actually did struggle more with having more weight on their back, even though they were bigger and technically weighed more. And that is why breed and conformation is super important to put into this argument about weight limits, because a horse can technically be overweight, but that doesn't mean that the horse can carry more weight because it's technically unhealthy, it's overweight. Now, conventional wisdom may tell you to just go and buy a bigger horse and that you can't ride a smaller horse, but that isn't necessarily true. So I'm now going to be talking about some of these smaller and stockier breeds that even heavier riders can sit on. One of my personal favorites are the halflingers. These guys are small and stocky, and they are bred and made for carrying weight, and they're very cute. I love their coloring, and I love them. They're so cute. Breeds such as Andalusians and Lusitanos are also known for having very strong backs. These breeds are also naturally athletic and kind of compact. I'm a big fan of breeds with Roman noses, so I love these guys. They're gorgeous. They move amazingly. You can look at the pre-stallions, they're gorgeous. I love them. Draft crosses are, I feel like, at least from where I'm from, I don't really see that many of them, but they are actually amazing because they have the bone structure to carry more weight while still having that athletic ability. And these guys also aren't overly tall, so they're a little shorter, obviously, depending on the horse. But these guys are also really cool. If you have never seen a draft horse mixed with a thoroughbred, they're so cool. I saw this one time. So cool. I touched on this a little earlier in the video, but now we're gonna go more in depth about it. About why, because a horse doesn't weigh more, or just because a horse weighs more doesn't mean it can carry more weight. As I was saying before, an overweight horse should not be carrying the 20% of its body weight anyway, because even without a rider on it, there is still strain on joints and tendons just from the horse being overweight. Fat does not equal muscle at all. Your horse can be 1,200 pounds but have zero muscle and have that all just be fat, but that does not mean it can carry the same amount of weight as a 1,200 pound super muscular show horse. And also, horses that are overweight are fatigued way faster than horses that are in shape. So should the 20% rule be thrown in the trash and thrown back in the 1920s cavalry guidebook? In a sense, it should be treated more as a guideline, but not a hard set in stone rule, because it also massively varies from horse to horse. Another thing is, let's talk about the internet for a second, because that's my favorite activity, of course. When you go and comment 20% rule on someone who isn't a stick, it's just weird. You're assuming someone's weight, exact weight, you're assuming someone's horse's weight, and it's just like, someone legitimately thought that I was 600 pounds. I have no words for that person, but I'm also a little concerned about their vision. What this video is not saying, we are not saying that no one is too big for a horse, because people are absolutely too big for horses. I'm too big to ride the smalls every day, jump them around, and that's fine. I'm not a pony rider, so it's fine. I just think that sometimes as a community we get too stuck in all the history and way back then stuff when we have modern science. And the modern science, we have more resources, we have modern technology, we have all this stuff, and people just want to go with, oh, well, in the 1800s they said this. In the 1800s they probably used spiked nosebands, and those aren't good. So I really hope that the takeaway from this video was just more what the science says versus what someone on the internet tells you. And honestly, I had so much fun researching this because it is so cool to see all of these people researching all of these different things and what technology is used for these modern studies. And I'm definitely going to stay more in touch with more modern equine studies because it's so fascinating to me. If you guys want to see more commentary videos, make sure to subscribe and comment on topics that I should talk about. And I think that summarizes this entire video. Thank you guys, and bye.